Hello, are you someone who has always felt like you don't quite fit in with the rest of the world? Do you ever feel like your unique way of thinking and perceiving the world isn't understood or appreciated by others? If so, you may just be one of the rarest personalities in the world, an INFJ. In this video, we'll be exploring the 15 signs that you're an INFJ, so keep watching if you want to discover if you belong to this exclusive club. Number 1, you're a natural empath. INFJs are highly empathic and can feel the emotions of others as if they were their own. You're able to pick up on subtle cues and emotions that others might miss. And you're highly sensitive to the needs of others. This sensitivity can be both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, it allows you to connect with people on a deep level, but on the other hand, it can be emotionally draining. As an INFJ, you may have always felt like you were more in tune with the emotions of others than most people. You might have been the one who always knew when a friend was upset, even if they didn't say anything. You might have found yourself taking on the emotions of those around you, even if it wasn't intentional. This empathy can be a beautiful thing, but it can also be overwhelming at times. It's important for INFJs to learn how to set boundaries and take care of themselves so that they can continue to use their empathy to help others without burning out. Number 2, you have a deep sense of purpose. INFJs often feel like they have a calling in life, and they're highly driven to make a positive impact on the world. You might feel like you have a mission to fulfill, or a cause that you're passionate about. This sense of purpose can provide you with a sense of direction and fulfillment. But it can also lead to feelings of frustration and disappointment when you feel like you're not making progress towards your goals. As an INFJ, you might have always felt like there was something bigger that you were meant to do with your life. You might feel a deep sense of responsibility to make the world a better place, or to help those who are less fortunate than you. This sense of purpose can be both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, it can provide you with a sense of meaning and direction. On the other hand, it can be frustrating when it feels like you're not making progress towards your goals. It's important for INFJs to remember that change takes time, and that even small steps towards their goals can make a big difference in the long run. You're highly intuitive. INFJs are highly attuned to their own intuition, and they're often able to make decisions based on gut feelings and instincts. You might find that you just know things without being able to explain how or why. This intuition can be a valuable tool for navigating the complexities of life, but it can also lead to feelings of uncertainty and doubt when you're not sure if you can trust your instincts. As an INFJ, you might have always had a sense of knowing that went beyond what you could explain rationally. You might have made decisions based on your gut feelings, even if they didn't make sense to others. This intuition can be a valuable asset when it comes to navigating complex social situations or making big life decisions. However, it can also be challenging when it feels like your intuition is leading you in a different direction than what others expect of you. It's important for INFJs to learn how to trust their instincts and have faith in their own ability to make the right choices. Number 3, you're a creative thinker. INFJs are highly imaginative and creative, and they often have a unique perspective on the world. You might find that you're able to come up with creative solutions to problems that others haven't thought of. This creativity can be a source of inspiration and joy, but it can also lead to feelings of frustration and isolation when you feel like your ideas aren't being understood or appreciated. As an INFJ, you might have always had a vivid imagination and a unique way of looking at the world. You might have been drawn to creative pursuits like writing, art, or music. This creativity can be a source of inspiration and joy. But it can also be challenging when it feels like others don't understand or appreciate your ideas. It's important for INFJs to find outlets for their creativity and to surround themselves with people who value their unique perspectives. Number 4, you value authenticity. INFJs have a deep respect for authenticity and honesty, and they often have little patience for people who are insincere or fake. You might find that you're highly intuitive when it comes to detecting when people aren't being genuine. This value can make it difficult for you to connect with people who don't share your commitment to authenticity. As an INFJ, you might have always had a keen sense of when people are being insincere or fake. You might have been drawn to people who are authentic and honest, and you might have found it challenging to connect with those who aren't. This value can be a double-edged sword, as it can make it difficult to connect with others who don't share your commitment to authenticity. However, it can also lead to deep and meaningful relationships with those who value honesty and sincerity. Number 5, you're a natural counselor. INFJs are often seen as natural counselors or advisors, and people often come to them for guidance and support. You might find that you have a knack for listening to others and helping them work through their problems. Your empathic nature and ability to see things from multiple perspectives makes you a valuable source of support and guidance for others. As an INFJ, you might have always been the one that your friends and family turned to when they needed advice or guidance. You might have found that you have a natural ability to listen to others and help them work through their problems. This can be a fulfilling role, but it can also be emotionally taxing. It's important for INFJs to learn how to take care of themselves so that they can continue to be a source of support for others. Number 6, you have a strong sense of empathy. INFJs are highly empathetic and are able to put themselves in other people's shoes. You might find that you're able to understand and relate to people from all walks of life. This empathy can be a source of connection and compassion, but it can also lead to feelings of overwhelm and burnout when you're constantly absorbing the emotions of others. As an INFJ, you might have always had a deep sense of empathy for others. You might have been drawn to helping professions like counseling, social work, or teaching. This empathy can be a beautiful thing, but it can also be challenging when it feels like you're constantly taking on the emotions of others. It's important for INFJs to learn how to set boundaries and take care of themselves so that they can continue to use their empathy in a healthy way. Number 8, you're highly sensitive to criticism. INFJs are often highly sensitive to criticism and negative feedback. And it can be difficult for them to separate their sense of self-worth from external evaluations. You might find that even minor criticisms can be deeply hurtful and challenging to recover from. This sensitivity can be a source of growth and self-awareness, but it can also lead to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. As an INFJ, you might have always been highly sensitive to criticism and negative feedback. Even a small comment from someone can hurt you deeply and make you question your self-worth. This sensitivity can be a source of growth and self-awareness, as it allows you to reflect on your actions and behavior. However, it can also lead to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. It's important for INFJs to learn how to differentiate between constructive feedback and hurtful criticism, and to not let negative evaluations define their sense of self-worth. Number 9, you're a deep thinker. INFJs are highly introspective and reflective, and they often spend a lot of time thinking about the big questions in life. You might find that you're highly philosophical or spiritual. You're always searching for deeper meaning and purpose in life, and you're not satisfied with superficial explanations. As an INFJ, you might have always been drawn to deep, philosophical questions about the nature of existence and the human experience. You might have spent hours pondering the meaning of life or exploring different spiritual practices. This deep thinking can be a source of inspiration and personal growth, but it can also be isolating when it feels like others don't share your passion for these big questions. It's important for INFJs to find like-minded individuals to connect with and share their thoughts and ideas. Number 10, you have a deep sense of empathy for animals. INFJs often have a deep connection with animals, and they're highly sensitive to their needs and emotions. You might find that you feel a deep sense of empathy for all living creatures. Animals can provide a sense of comfort and understanding that you may not always find in other humans. As an INFJ, you might have always felt a deep connection to animals. You might have spent time volunteering at animal shelters or rescuing stray animals. This connection can be a source of comfort and understanding, as animals don't judge or criticize in the same way that humans can. However, it can also lead to feelings of sadness and despair when you witness the suffering of animals in the world. It's important for INFJs to find healthy ways to cope with these emotions and to continue using their empathy to advocate for animal welfare. Number 11, you're highly idealistic. INFJs often have a strong sense of idealism and believe in the potential for a better world. You might find that you're highly passionate about social justice or environmental issues. You have a vision for what the world could be, and you're not afraid to fight for what you believe in. As an INFJ, you might have always had a strong sense of idealism and a vision for a better world. You might be drawn to social justice causes like fighting against racism or promoting gender equality. This idealism can be a source of inspiration and motivation, but it can also be challenging when it feels like the world is resistant to change. It's important for INFJs to remember that even small actions towards their idealistic vision can make a difference, and to continue fighting for what they believe in. Number 12. You have a few close friendships. INFJs are often very selective about who they let into their inner circle, and they might only have a few close friends. You might find that you value quality over quantity when it comes to friendships. Your close friends are like family to you, and you would do anything to support them. As an INFJ, you might have always been selective about who you let into your inner circle. You might have a few close friends who are like family to you, and you would do anything to support them. This close-knit group can be a source of comfort and understanding, but it can also be isolating when you feel like you don't have a lot of people to turn to. It's important for INFJs to learn how to balance their need for close relationships with their need for social connection, and to not be afraid to reach out to new people. Number 13. You have a strong sense of intuition. INFJs often have a strong sense of intuition that goes beyond what can be explained rationally. You might find that you're able to pick up on subtle cues and signals that others miss, and you're able to see patterns and connections that aren't immediately obvious. This intuition can be a powerful tool for navigating the world, but it can also be challenging when you're not able to explain how you arrived at a certain conclusion. As an INFJ, you might have always had a strong sense of intuition that goes beyond what can be explained rationally. You might be able to pick up on subtle cues and signals that others miss, and you might be able to see patterns and connections that aren't immediately obvious. This intuition can be a powerful tool for navigating the complexities of life, but it can also be challenging when it feels like others don't understand or value your insights. It's important for INFJs to learn how to communicate their intuition in a way that others can understand and to not be afraid to trust their own instincts. Number 14. You have a tendency towards perfectionism. INFJs often have high standards for themselves and others. And they can be very hard on themselves when they don't meet these expectations. You might find that you're always striving to do better, and that even small mistakes can be deeply upsetting. This perfectionism can be a source of motivation and drive, but it can also lead to feelings of stress and anxiety when you feel like you're not measuring up. As an INFJ, you might have always had high standards for yourself and others. You might be highly self-critical and have a tendency towards perfectionism. This can be a source of motivation and drive, as it pushes you to do your best and to strive for excellence. However, it can also lead to feelings of stress and anxiety when you feel like you're not meeting your own expectations. It's important for INFJs to learn how to be kind to themselves and to celebrate their successes, even if they're not perfect. Number 15. You're highly self-aware. INFJs are often highly introspective and self-aware, and they're constantly striving to understand themselves better. You might find that you spend a lot of time reflecting on your thoughts and feelings, and that you're always seeking to improve yourself. This self-awareness can be a source of personal growth and development, but it can also lead to feelings of self-doubt and insecurity when you're constantly questioning yourself. As an INFJ, you might have always been highly self-aware and introspective. You might spend a lot of time reflecting on your thoughts and feelings, and you're always seeking to improve yourself. This self-awareness can be a source of personal growth and development, but it can also lead to feelings of self-doubt and insecurity when you're constantly questioning yourself. It's important for INFJs to learn how to balance their self-reflection with self-acceptance, and to appreciate their strengths and unique qualities. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the 15 signs that you're an INFJ. If you found yourself nodding along to many of these traits, then congratulations, you're part of an exclusive and rare personality type. Remember that being an INFJ is both a gift and a challenge, and that it's important to take care of yourself and find healthy ways to use your unique strengths and abilities. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.